welcome to Falcon Weekly here on BGSUFalcons.com. I'm Evan Pivnik, joined again by the head coach of the Bowling Green Falcons, Chris Bergeron. Coach, about a month off before the team got back on the ice on Saturday. First of all, how was your holidays and your time off?
They were good, thank you. Hopefully yours were good, and Happy New Year to all the Bowling Green Falcon fans out there, and great wishes for 2015. It was a good break. I felt like by the end of it we were ready to get playing again. Normally you don't have 4 full weeks, and you do have a couple weeks off for the holidays and for exams, but this year we had a couple weeks off before that, it seemed like. So getting back skating on the 28th of December was nice to get back going again. And now over the next, hopefully 9, 10, 11 weeks, we don't have any breaks. So we'll be looking back at the Christmas break and wishing we had a couple of days off. But it went well, and we're looking forward to get going here in the second half.
Now you come back from the break, and the first game out of the break is Winterfest at Fifth Third Field in Toledo. What was that like, as from a coaching perspective?
Well, from a coaching perspective, it was fine. The conditions on Saturday weren't great. We went up there Friday and practiced, and it was sunny, and it was kind of late afternoon, early evening. It was just a beautiful, beautiful day, and practices went fine, and our guys were taking a bunch of pictures and all that stuff. The one thing that put a damper on Friday was all the talk of the bad weather coming Saturday, and it didn't disappoint. I mean, there was bad weather from start to finish, and it wasn't easy getting to Toledo. It wasn't easy playing while we were there. It just was one of those days both teams had to deal with the rain, and I thought they dealt with it pretty well. The players did. From a coaching side, it was easy for us just to stand there. From a player's side, it couldn't have been very easy, and I thought both teams did a nice job.
A 2-2 tie on Saturday, and able to face Robert Morris again Sunday and pick up a victory. Just how do you think the team played over the 2 games?
Well, I thought Saturday we played fine at times. I thought Sunday we played pretty well. They're a good team. They're a top 20 team for a reason. They've got some good wins under their belt. They come at you real hard. I don't. The Saturday, I think again the conditions. I don't want to harp on that, but I think the conditions were kind of leveled. Both teams weren't able to do what they normally do and really push the pace north, and because the ice conditions weren't great. Sunday was more of the game that I think both teams wanted to play. We were able to capitalize on a couple of opportunities and have a good third period. All in all, I thought the process and the details of our game collectively were pretty good. The tape showed there's some work to do in terms of the details from an individual perspective, but that's to be expected when you have just had 4 weeks off.
Goaltending a little bit Saturday. Chris Nell got the start. Sunday, Thomas Scholl got his first start since October 31st against Minnesota State. Thoughts on the way you pulled those 2 goaltenders to play? Well,
starting with Chris, we felt like he'd been the most consistent and he deserved to play. And his last start was a pretty good one at Northern, and it was. I don't want to say it was an easy decision because it isn't. They all want to play, and especially in a situation where it's an outdoor game and so on. But Chris had deserved it. And as far as Sunday, we just felt like it was time for Thomas to play in a game. He'd been really preparing well, and he had a good couple weeks of practice before the break, and it earned a start. And he didn't disappoint. I mean, they scored a minute and a half into that first period, and it was on a tip play that he really had no chance on the puck. And I thought, is it going to be one of those games for him? And he settled down nicely, and there was a couple of opportunities they had where there was a breakaway or a bang-bang play in front of our net that Thomas made some really good saves and kept it a 1-goal lead or kept it tied or whatever. But I thought Thomas played well.
And talking about penalty kill here a bit, 7 kills on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. What's been going on in that department, second in the nation?
Well, Saturday, first of all, for 2 sides of it. The discipline side was poor. Our discipline on Saturday, not very good. I mean, to take 7 penalties is just not acceptable, and our guys knew that. And then, again, I go back to the conditions, the ice conditions in particular. They can really neutralize a really strong power play, which is what Robert Morris has. It made it difficult to zip the puck around. I thought we did a decent job of doing what we were supposed to be doing and taking care of our business on the penalty kill. And Sunday it was back to more of a normal 3 killing opportunities. I thought we did a decent job, and when we didn't, Thomas was there to make a save. What's been going right? First of all, this has been a 5-year process, or a 4.5 years. We've been talking about our special teams and how important that is to win hockey games, and I think our penalty kill has probably been more consistent than the power play, but the power play is very capable of being strong. And right now the penalty kill, we seem to be on the same page. Now, how high are we able to execute? What level are we able to execute at? I guess, if you will, every weekend is the question, or every game. This weekend's going to be no exception. We're going to get tested, and Alaska's got a bunch of good players and a good power play. We just want to kind of chip away at it, and the fact that we're on the same page and executing well is a good thing as far as penalty kill is concerned.
Now, you mentioned this week coming up facing Alaska, and for the rest of the way out now, it's all WCHA, no more non-conference games. That doesn't really change the game plan and the way you approach games.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, we didn't take anything for granted or lightly, or every game we played this year matters to us. It doesn't necessarily matter in the standings, but it matters, and we put ourselves into a position where not only do they matter in the standings, but they matter in the national scale. And our guys haven't been in that position before. I haven't been in that position before as a head coach. I mean, where my experience comes in this position is as an assistant coach. And we've got a bunch of different heads here the second half. We've got a bunch of hockey in a row. We've got 3 long trips. We got to make sure that we're getting ample amount of rest, and it's not go crazy all day every day in terms of preparation. We can prepare by resting. I mean, that's part of preparation at times, and that's going to be on us to make sure that happens. And then a lot of the other stuff is going to be mental. I'm not talking about turn the light switch off and on. I'm talking about if the practice is 40 minutes, we got to get something out of 40 minutes of practice, so we get to game time where we're able to execute at the level that we've set for ourselves. And I like the fact that the next 9 weeks are WCHA weeks, and hopefully the 10th is a playoff, and there's stuff beyond that. But we know what the schedule says, and there's a bunch of league games, but it doesn't change the approach.
And again, this weekend playing at home at the BGSU Ice Arena. How has home ice advantage really helped the team in the first half of the season?
Well, looking at our home record and our road record, I'm not sure it has. We just haven't played a whole lot of home games. I think we're 4-2 at home, and you add the exhibition game in there, and then maybe we're 5-2 at home. We got a bunch of home games the second half. We'll get the students back on campus. It won't be this weekend, but moving forward, and that'll be a good thing for us. Get them crazy, and hopefully the people within the community will keep coming to watch. And generally speaking, our crowds in the second half have been really strong. And these games, the second half, they matter. We're playing for something. The goals that we set for ourselves are real goals, and they're achievable. And we're going to need all the support we can get, especially for those home games. But I think for the most part, we've done a decent job on the road as well, which that to me separates the good teams from the really good ones, is that the really good ones are able to find a way to win games on the road.
Well, Coach, I appreciate the time. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
As always, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.